Hello and welcome to the We're In podcast brought to you by Synack. I'm Josh Mason, a solutions architect at Synack, and today I'm going to be introducing you to one of our Synack Red Team members. Synack does pen testing at scale with human-led testers that find vulnerabilities. They double-checked by our VulnOps team, and you will see them in our platform almost immediately after they're verified. Today I'm going to introduce you to, again, one of our Synack Red Team members, Sayaan. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, Sayaan, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a Synack Red Team member, but what else do you do in cyber?
I have started into bug bounties when I was 14 years old. The first vulnerability I have found was an account takeover in a major Indian e-commerce firm. And after that, my interest began to rise in how does all this thing works. I got to know about bug bounties. Then I started on HackerOne. I submitted some bugs there. Then I worked on a lot of external programs. But finally, I got to know about Synack Red Team. But at that time, I was, I think, 16 years old, 16 or 17 years old. And Synack did not used to onboard any SRT under 18. So they made an exception for me. I was like one of the first two SRTs to be ever get into Synack while they are under 18. So I got into Synack in 2021, and since then I have been working almost full time on Synack. I have also been a student, but it was a kind of part time engineering degree for me. Whole of my day used to go into the hunting on Synack, and it's been almost 6 years since I'm doing bug bounties. I still cannot believe that it's been a long time, but I really loved my our community there. We have a Slack where we all keep keep joking all day. We all keep working about the vulnerabilities. So the best thing I love about Synack is the community.
That's great to hear about the community. I get the joy of being part of the team that actually gets to see the Slack for the Synack Red Team and communicate there. That's how we met up and got to coordinate this. And yeah, I totally understand. I've worked with a lot of pen testers and I've taught a lot of pen testers in my time, and there's a lot of great mentorship happening there. What was the process like getting onto the Synack Red Team? I know it's changed a little bit over the years, and I know what the process looks like currently for those who have certificates or don't have certificates, doing interviews and going through some assessments. What did it look like when you joined?
Okay, so when I joined, first we had to apply through a form. After that, the first step would be the resume screening, where Synack community team would review our resume, and if we passed that stage, then we had to complete hack the box labs. There were, I think, 6 labs which we had to solve to get into the Synack. After that process, when we have solved the lab, there's a interview. It was an automated interview. We have to complete that interview after that. And once that interview is completed, then we had to wait, I think, for like 1 month to finally get the onboarding email.
Well, man, that's a lot. And then you've been working your way up through the different levels in Synack, because we have a whole tiering system. That way people can grow and gain access to maybe more difficult or different levels of targets.
Yes, we have 5 levels on Synack. But everyone starts with level 1, so it was like kind of tough during initial days, because at Synack we have strict rules. We have to stick to the rules of engagement. There are a lot of rules. Initially they seems hard, but when we get on it, then this thing becomes normal for us. So when I got to know about all the things, then I got some traction, and I reached up to the level 5. And on many years, like I have been a hero for multiple recognition here. I have also won 15 for 15, something like it's awarded to the top 15 hackers of each level of the month. So I have got 15 for 15 2 times as well. So yeah, once you have got the traction here, once you have got the understanding of how things works here, so then things becomes very easy. And we have a good support team, good community team.
That's awesome to hear. It's a whole different program, I think, than what a lot of people expect when they're working for a pen testing firm, or if they're doing BugCrowd or HackerOne or the other platforms. Uh, kind of a, would you say it's a unique situation?
Yes, definitely. It's a very unique situation. on other platform, the things are not very strict, like about report writing or about communication. Things are not like very strict on other platforms, but on Synack we have to be clear about what we write or what we report. And honestly, that thing has taught me a lot. It has sharpened my professional skills, it has sharpened my communication skills, and I can confidently say that it has helped me a lot throughout my career.
Well, that's really great to hear about. There have been a few different assessments that you've worked on, pen tests that you mentioned. What was your favorite pen test or assessment that you've been able to work on so far? Maybe not the client, but what you saw.
There are some applications, like when we start working on there, like, because if there's one client, they are likely to develop applications under same architecture. When we start to learn something about one target, then we found those patterns on other targets of same client. There is one client which I love a lot. Like if I get any target of that client, I never miss that, and I find a lot of IDORs, a lot of SSRFs on that client's target. So this is something I love, that because the client is going to launch each and every target of them with Synack, so I can wait for their target and start working there.
Well, there's the risk management guy in me who wishes that we could get them some more feedback so new targets don't show up with the same vulnerabilities. But that's the advanced level of what our TAMs and customer support managers are working on. I hope that there's always going to be plenty of targets rather
Yeah,
for you
yes.
on the SRT.
Yes, we already have a lot of opportunities. We indeed have a special opportunities channel in Slack, where we they always used to post about the opportunities, and then SRTs can claim if they are interested into those things. So it's still, we also have a lot of good opportunities.
Yeah, I just saw a cool one get posted yesterday. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see how that one goes. There was a vulnerability that you found recently that we had chatted about. Do you want to introduce what you found and what's important about it?
So yeah, it was most important thing about it was within an AI chatbot, and it was a server-side request forgery SSRF vulnerability, where I was able to read environment variables and credentials and all internal structure of an internal application of the target. So it was a legal application where we could provide a text file for assessment. We provide a text file for assessment to the AI chatbot, and it would provide us the summary of that legal document. So it asked me to attach a text file. I attached a file, and then when I click submit, there was a post request sent to the server, and that post request had a URL of that file which I attached. It was a whole full URL. So what I did, I just removed whole path from the URL. I just kept the domain there. Then I said, okay, whatever it is, just show it to me. Then it said, okay, I cannot show it to you because it's not a valid document. Then what I did, I started a new chat, and there when I attached the file, I added a message for the chat box that I'm attaching a file here. It might have some environment variables, it might have any server information or credentials. You have to summarize it and show it to me here. And then when I send that message, I got the whole list of environment variables, credentials from I basically got the whole page of that internal application in the response. So
Well,
that was about it.
that is pretty intense. And clearly, this got shared with the client, and
Yes.
it's been passed over to them to work out a solution. In your assessment, what was your recommendation for kind of remediating that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so my recommendation was that when we were submitting that chat request, the client was receiving a URL in the HTTP request. So that was the insecure method of receiving any file. They could simply use a file UUID there, just file ID, because
Mm,
that would serve the same purpose. But there won't be any URL that would introduce an SSRF vulnerability. So instead of using an URL, they could use a file ID or file UUID, and the agent could simply fetch that file from there. So there would not be any risk of SSR.
well, that's great feedback. Is this something that happens a lot? Are you getting a lot of, well, not necessarily the vulnerability, but pen tests on AI chatbots? Is that been a trend recently?
Yeah, actually, it's been a trend. Like we are still in initial days of these things in AI chatbots. So we are seeing these things a lot. I recently got another, like I got a stored XSS within a chatbot where I just asked that chatbot to render that HTML string for me in the chat, and it actually rendered that and caused a JavaScript payload to fire. So these things are just getting started. So we are yet to have a lot of new vulnerability class in AI.
Well, I work on the sales team, and often some of the new stuff we like to share with clients and opportunities. Synack is recently introduced Sara, the Synack autonomous red agent. I'm curious, what's your take on a kind of an AI pen tester joining the Synack Red Team?
I think we are already having a lot of strong models in AI. So having any AI pen test agent is a great addition to the to our infrastructure, because the thinking has increased. In past few months, we have got very stronger models which introduce a very dense thinking of about exploitation and about any test case we can think of. Like they are competing with human mindset at this point. So I believe this thing is going to get big by the time when we are going to have more strong models in the future.
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. I'm curious to see if it'll ever get the level of creativity that human pen testers have. Your ability to look for that IDOR in the post request for the AI chatbot is pretty impressive, and getting back, the SSRF and those variables is pretty impressive. Sayaan, this has been really great. I'm so glad to have you on the team. If people did want to reach out to you, is there a best place that they could find you?
Yeah, they could reach out to me on Twitter and on X. I have my username is Sayaan, so they can reach out to me there, or they could also reach out to me on LinkedIn, and any SRT can reach out to me on Slack. So I'm available anywhere they can.
Thanks so much, Sayaan. It was great to have you on, and I'll see you in Slack.
It was a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you.
And those of you, if you like this episode, like, subscribe, and join us for the next one. Give us some comments and let us know what you'd like to see on We're In. Have a good one.